Here are 7 beauty influencers who perfectly represent the 7 deadly sins, and I will be going through them all, starting with greed. Greed is the uncontrollable desire for more, and few beauty influencers have walked that line as boldly as Jeffree Star. At his peak, Jeffree wasn't just a beauty guru, he was an empire. His YouTube channel pulled in millions. His brand, Jeffree Star Cosmetics, was selling out in seconds. His mansion, luxury cars, designer bags, all broadcast to fans like proof that he'd made it. And he had. But the question was always, at what cost? Behind the scenes, Jeffree's path was littered with scorched friendships and shady business decisions. He partnered with people like Shane Dawson for the explosive conspiracy palette, capitalizing on controversy to fuel a multi-million-dollar launch. He pushed limited edition restocks and once-in-a-lifetime drops so aggressively that fans often felt more manipulated than excited. And then came the sponsorship scandals, promoting Morphe with full-throated support, only to turn on them when the brand's popularity dipped, not to mention the lingering accusations of bullying, manipulation, and exploiting drama for clicks. Was Jeffree a savvy businessman? Undeniably. But his endless pursuit of more blurred the lines between ambition and avarice. Greed isn't just about hoarding wealth. It's about constantly taking, even when you've already won. And for Jeffree, that hunger never seemed to stop. But if Jeffree wanted it all, James wanted someone, anyone, to want him back. And he represents the sin of lust. Lust is a strong sexual desire without thinking about the consequences. And no beauty influencer has been more publicly consumed by this than James Charles. James rose to fame like no one else in the industry. At just 17, he became the first male ambassador for CoverGirl. His channel exploded with tutorials, challenges, and viral collabs. He was charismatic, unapologetically bold, and everywhere. But beneath the makeup and million-dollar brand deals was a pattern of behavior that exposed something darker. James openly expressed his preference for straight men, which at first came off as flirtatious humor. But over time, allegations surfaced that suggested something much more serious. Young men came forward, accusing James of unwanted advances, manipulation, and even pressuring minors into sending explicit photos. Screenshots and TikToks began flooding the internet, some disputed, others undeniable. Each new allegation chipped away at his reputation. His subscriber count took a nosedive, brand partnerships disappeared, and the public, once enamored by his charm, began to question everything. Lust sometimes is about power, the feeling of being untouchable, of taking what you want without pause. And in the end, it cost him the very empire he'd built on being unproblematic. Because when desire blinds you to consequences, all it takes is one scandal to turn a star into a cautionary tale. While James was chasing desire, Trisha was consumed by what everyone else had. And she represents envy. Envy is a strong desire for someone's qualities or possessions. If there's one word that defines Trisha Paytas's internet career, it's chaos. But underneath the trolling, the tears, and the transformations lies a driving force that's shaped much of her online persona: envy. Trisha has never hidden her jealousy. In fact, she's built an entire career around chasing the success of others. In the beauty space, she repeatedly tried to insert herself into communities where she didn't belong, mimicking the looks, language, and lifestyles of more respected creators. While the likes of Jeffree Star and James Charles were launching successful makeup lines, Trisha was releasing hastily made skincare products that fans quickly criticized for poor quality and lack of credibility. Her attempts felt more like desperate grabs for relevance than genuine passion. What made it worse was how openly she compared herself to others. She envied their friendships, their collaborations, their followers, and wasn't afraid to lash out when she felt excluded. Her infamous feuds with the likes of Shane Dawson, Ethan Klein, and even the H3 podcast's crew often had one common thread: Trisha feeling sidelined, left out, jealous, and while she constantly reinvented herself, from glam beauty guru to mukbang queen to spiritual TikTok mom, it often came off as someone grasping for attention in spaces where others were already thriving. Trisha didn't just want to be successful, she wanted what they had, and when she couldn't get it, she burned it all down, often publicly, loudly, and in tears. Trisha longed for the spotlight, but Jacqueline, she thought she owned it. And she represents the sin of pride. Pride is the inflated confidence in oneself and the refusal to admit you're wrong. And in the beauty world, no one's downfall has been more perfectly shaped by pride than Jacqueline Hill. Jacqueline started out as a fan favorite, known for her warm personality, in-depth tutorials, and collaborations with brands like Becca Cosmetics and Morphe. She built trust. She built a loyal audience. But when it came time to launch her own brand, Jaclyn Cosmetics, that trust crumbled. And pride played a starring role. The infamous hairy lipstick scandal should have been a turning point. Customers received lipsticks with bubbles, fibers, black dots, and even plastic shards. Instead of a swift recall or sincere apology, Jaclyn doubled down. She dismissed concerns, insisted the products were safe, and accused critics of lying or exaggerating. The deeper the backlash grew, the more defensive she became. She disappeared from social media, then returned with vague explanations and even more polished PR. But by then, the damage was done. Not by the lipstick, but by the way she handled it. Pride made her believe her name alone could weather any storm. That she didn't need to earn back trust, just ride it out. But beauty isn't just about product, it's about perception. And when you treat criticism as a personal attack rather than a chance to grow, even your most loyal fans will turn away. Jaclyn didn't fall because of a bad launch. She fell because she couldn't say, "I messed up." Jaclyn's downfall came from believing she was untouchable. But Nikita, she didn't just believe it, she wanted to be unmissable. And she represents the sin of gluttony. Gluttony means overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. And no beauty influencer embodies that hunger more than Nikita Dragun. At first, Nikita was a force, bold, unapologetic, and groundbreaking for trans visibility in the beauty space. But somewhere along the way, her appetite for relevance outgrew her authenticity. She couldn't just post makeup content. She had to be in the middle of every controversy. She inserted herself into feuds that had nothing to do with her, dropped scandalous music videos as thinly veiled jabs at other creators, and repeatedly stirred drama online just to get people talking. And when the spotlight began to dim, she faked it. In 2020, she was called out for hosting massive parties during the pandemic, then tried to shift blame. She launched a makeup line that felt more like a branding stunt than a passion project. And time after time, she made headlines not for beauty, but for antics. From walking around hotel pools in nothing but duct tape to faking romantic links for clicks. What started as ambition turned into overconsumption of attention, of controversy, of the audience's patience. Gluttony doesn't just want more. It wants everything all the time without consequence. And Nikita's story shows how chasing the next viral moment can leave you with followers, but no real foundation. Nikita stirred chaos for clout.